northwards to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, a Bucksport woman had her arraignment for charges of aggravated animal cruelty. Plus, a proposal to exchange used needles for money similar to cans and bottles is gaining popularity in Augusta. And Z107.3 is doing their Free the Z Turkey Drive that's been a staple in the community for the past 24 years. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith and thank you for tuning in this morning. Today is pretty similar to yesterday as far as weather goes, kind of a carbon copy. Highs in the low 50s, we'll have some clouds, rain will be holding off, although of course, as we've been saying, we could really use it. So let's get a look at that forecast with Devin Biggs.
Hey Emma, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find the perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. Alrighty, here we go. Small crowd advisory still up. This part here will last until this morning. However, another one is in effect now that will last until about Friday or so. But meanwhile, on land, it's pretty quiet this morning. We still have clouds that are passing through, going for the northeast and going to the south and west. A little bit of moisture showing up here as well, but overall nothing too ridiculous. We will stay dry today across our neck of the woods. This is a system right about here that's sending some of that moisture close to the state, but again, we will stay dry today. Clouds will be the common idea as we do move forward. We'll be watching those clouds moving in from the northeast, going to the south and west today, and that will be the common idea again later on tonight and also in the parts of your Thursday. As for the gusty winds, they can reach up to about 20 miles per hour at times, and it'll calm down for a little bit later on tonight, maybe a quick gust up to 15 miles per hour at times, more so along the coast. But once we head towards your Thursday, more gusty winds will make a return. Lower 50s today, mostly cloudy and breezy. North wind gusting up to about 20 miles per hour at times. Later on tonight, we have lower 40s, cloudy and calm. Northeast wind at about 5 miles per hour or so. Hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing increasing clouds with temperatures in the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Emma?
Thank you, Devin. We'll have a look at that full 5-day a little later on. Well, first thing this morning, a woman who stands accused of aggravated animal cruelty after authorities shut down the rescue she was running was in court yesterday. Elisha Krutaleski appeared virtually for an arraignment. She pleaded not guilty to the charges against her. The Hancock County grand jury had indicted Krutaleski on 6 counts of aggravated animal cruelty and 1 count of cruelty to animals back in October. The state asked that $2,500 cash bail be set, but according to the judge and court records, she'd already posted $500 cash bail on September 27th. The judge accepted that $500, but set conditions that she not be allowed to own or possess dogs or livestock of any kind. Krutaleski owned Coastal Dreams Rescue and Sanctuary in Bucksport until the rescue was shut down after an investigation into the conditions there and the treatment of the dogs under her care. Krutaleski does not yet have an attorney. The judge instructed her to get one, either by having one appointed by the court or hiring her own. She's due back in court in January. State officials and local animal groups seized more than 50 Shih Tzu dogs and a handful of cats from a home in Norridgewock. Initially, only 15 to 20 dogs were thought to be inside, but officials discovered more than twice as many. All of the dogs were taken to shelters in Kennebunk, Westbrook, and Brunswick. Leaders at the Animal Refuge League of Greater Portland says the dogs were covered in feces and had matted fur. They were crammed in a small space for a long time and have a long way to go towards adjusting to a normal life.
They've got a lot to learn. These are really under-socialized dogs. They've been living, 50 to a trailer for their entire lives. They don't really know what it's like to live in any other condition. So things like separation anxiety, under-socialization.
Coast Humane, 10 of those seized dogs are up for adoption already. At the Animal Refuge League in Portland, many of the dogs that landed there have medical conditions that will need to be treated before they're up for adoption. Some tense moments for a state police trooper when a vehicle was seen traveling the wrong direction on I-95 just north of Sherman. It happened at around 12 a.m. Tuesday morning. A car driven by 75-year-old James Birch of Freeport was traveling north in the southbound lane. At one point, State Trooper Noah Castonguay attempted to stop Birch by driving towards his car with lights and siren activated. The 2019 Honda Accord didn't stop, so the trooper had to swerve out of the way. A short time later, the trooper went ahead to a crossover in Oakfield to intercept the wrong-way driver. As he approached, the trooper used his cruiser to strike the passenger side of the oncoming vehicle to stop it. Birch was placed into custody and is charged with criminal OUI, aggravated driving to endanger, and passing a roadblock. Neither the trooper nor Birch were injured in the collision. In last week's Augusta City Council meeting, one councilor brought to the table an idea to address the issue of used needles and syringes being found throughout the city. Our Doug Banks sat down with City Councilor Kevin Judkins to learn more.
It's an idea to help bring an end to used hypodermic needles left scattered in Augusta.
It's not a needle exchange. It's really designed to clean the streets up.
During last Thursday night's City Council meeting, City Councilor Kevin Judkins proposed the idea of residents bringing in used needles and syringes at 5 cents per needle or syringe.
Honestly, we got to start somewheres. 5 cents did work for folks picking up bottles and cans. So it seemed to me as a reasonable starting point.
Judkins says the incentive program would partner with a nonprofit who works in harm reduction and needle exchanges. The nonprofit would receive 7 cents per every needle brought in. He also suggested the idea of the program being funded through a share of the city's opioid settlement, which City Manager Jared Mills says they have $734,000 since last being updated in October. Judkinson's incentive program idea brought both praise and concern from councilors.
Syringe exchange incentive programs are a long-standing evidence-based practice of how to get improperly disposed of syringes off of streets across America.
I don't think I would be in favor of just bring a needle in, you're going to get 5 cents, because at that point, people that may be need money, may be searching for needles, not handling them properly.
The next step is for the city manager to speak with his staff and with community partners who'd be interested in collaborating with the city. Those findings would then be brought back to the council to move forward in the discussion process. Judkins says at this time there is no specific date or meeting in place for when this will happen. In Augusta, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Price changes are coming for electric utility customers. The Maine Public Utilities Commission accepted bids and set new standard offer utility rates for residential and business customers of Central Maine Power and Versant Power's Maine Public Service District. According to the PUC, an average residential CMP customer will see their bill decrease very slightly. The PUC says an average residential customer of Versant's Maine Public Service District will see their bill increase about $1.84 a month. PUC Chairman Philip Bartlett says, quote, "We know the economy and especially electricity prices have been top of mind for consumers. This was a robust bidding process and we're confident that we have secured the best rate possible." It's beginning to look very festive in Bangor. The city's holiday tree was put up in West Market Square yesterday morning. Thousands of lights were strung on the 36-foot Norway spruce thanks to Fraser Signal Technologies of VZ that helped Bangor's Public Works Department. It won't be lit just yet, though. That will happen during a special lighting ceremony that will take place on November 29th. Just a reminder, though, that Bangor's Festival of Lights Parade begins at 4:30 on December 7th. And if you need a reminder, don't fret. We'll have somebody on the morning show to do a live interview about it to see what you can expect, if there's anything new, and just to, remind you. So looking forward to it. It is looking very festive. All right, the time now is 8:09. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a group of local nonprofits are coming together to make sure that everyone has a hot meal for Thanksgiving. We'll hear about that, but before we go, let's take another quick look at that forecast. Mostly cloudy today, a bit of a breeze again today, high of 52 degrees, dropping down to a low of 43 overnight, cloudy, pretty calm. For your Thursday, temps are beginning to drop, but not by a crazy amount. Cloudy, breezy, high of 48. We'll be right back.
Even though Dorsey Furniture is known for our vast collections of quality home furnishings, sometimes we like to venture into the forgotten passageways and dark corners of our enormous warehouse to mine the odd nightstand, forgotten sofa, orphaned love seat, or the elusive discontinued mattress. Meanwhile, our sales manager, not the bean counters, smashed their original retail prices into tiny fractions of themselves. Dorsey Furniture. Black Friday, black tag sale going on now.
Dad, I got a huge barbecue wing stain.
This bottle says I need a pre-treat.
That stuff has way more water. A little bit of Tide goes a long way. So you can save your shirt and maybe even a little money.
More money for nights at the library.
Right.
For a better clean with less, it's got to be Tide.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, chances are you have a lot of questions. Norm Prouty has answers. Learn some tips and tricks and explore some beautiful new homes on the market. The Norm Prouty and Donnell Baker Real Estate Show, Sunday mornings at 8:30 on Fox 22.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Get ready for the holiday season. The Rotary Club of Bangor is excited to present the annual Festival of Lights Parade. This dazzling event lights up downtown Bangor and brings joy to thousands, featuring marching bands, small and large floats, dancers, and other performing groups. And don't miss the grand finale as Santa himself arrives to spread holiday cheer. Join us Saturday, December 7th, starting at 4:30 p.m. Let's kick off the season together at the Festival of Lights Parade.
A group of local nonprofits came together yesterday to make sure every Mainer has bread to break this holiday season. Our Alex Schley has more.
22 years ago, when the Bucksport Mill Workers donated $6,000 to the brewer-based nonprofit known as Food and Medicine to help their fellow workers who had lost their job, a tradition was born. Since then, the organization has grown to include nearly 70 organizations across the state, all working together to distribute the meals. This year, organizers say they plan to prepare 1,675 meals, comprised mostly of locally sourced food.
When this started, we didn't want to have farmers going bankrupt too through donating food. So this is really a way, and we try and do it thoughtfully so that if a farmer has extra carrots or extra beets, we'll buy the beets or extra carrots from those farmers to support farmers.
Boxes include all the fixings from turkey and squash to cider and beets. Each year, hundreds of volunteers turn out to help, including 19-year-old Troy Hood. He decided to give back after seeing how one of the boxes made a difference in his own family.
It has helped many family members. I know it surely helped my family. It's a great community event. I severely thank Food and Medicine, all the farms, and all the volunteers. If it wasn't for the volunteers, the farms, and Food and Medicine, we wouldn't be able to have anything like this.
Food and Medicine organizers say they still have a significant amount of fundraising to do before Thanksgiving. If you'd like to donate or learn more about the program, visit our website, foxbangor.com. In Brewer, I'm Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
I love that interview of that last volunteer. That's really well spoken. Okay, well, 'tis the season for not just planning your own Thanksgiving meal, but also perhaps helping to make sure others get to enjoy one too. In that spirit, the folks at Z107.3 kicked off their annual Free the Z Turkey Drive. The event is in its 24th year and has collected thousands of turkeys for area families in need. This year, they're partnering with Penquist Cap and you can find Kid and Katie in the Brewer Hannaford parking lot collecting turkeys through tomorrow. That's right, they stay out there for the duration. So if you're able to hand deliver a donated turkey, they'll be waiting. The goal this year is to collect at least 2,024 turkeys.
This year, it's, nothing's changed. We need as many turkeys as we can get.
And we've seen a lot of, all different walks of life of people come through so far. Just today, we're having a pretty good first day. So
we really are. We even had someone from Ellsworth come and drop off a turkey, so that was amazing.
Drove down just to say hello.
If you can't make it in to drop off a turkey in person, Katie says you can still help. Just text Free the Z to the number 44321 for a link to donate. We'll have that information on our website, foxbangor.com. all sorts of ways to help out the community this holiday season. Okay, the time now is 8:14. After the break, the King Neptune statue has become an iconic part of the Rockland Lobster Festival, but after being washed out to sea, the artist who made him is making a comeback. We'll take a look as Good Morning Maine continues.
Downy does more to make clothes softer, fresher, and better, because your hoodie does more than complete your look. Like when it becomes her favorite place to cuddle. Downy is more than just a fabric softener. It breathes life into your laundry.
Nothing feels as good as driving a new Hyundai. And now you can get a great deal on your favorite model at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this offer ends. Make your next getaway your best one yet. Get an all-wheel drive Santa Fe for 1.99% APR for up to 72 months, or lease for $269 a month. Hurry in.
Rowell's Garage has been serving customers in the greater Dover-Foxcroft region since 1946. Our goal is not just selling you a vehicle, but also giving you quality service to maintain your vehicle at peak performance. Browse our inventory online or in person. Whether it's a car, truck, or SUV, we can put you in the vehicle that is right for you. Sales, service, and parts. Rowell's Garage, doing business the right way every day. ABC 7 and Fox 22 proudly broadcast live from the Anna Shriner's Festival of Trees on November 20th, a beautiful holiday live event which is brought to you locally by Ideal Recycling in Carmel, a family-owned and operated scrap metal yard. Steaks and Stuff in Lincoln is your local full-service Surefine supermarket. And top-notch detailing in Herman. Give us a call to learn more about our fantastic specials, 232-2933.
Sundays, NFL coverage starts with Fox NFL Kickoff at 11.
This is great TV.
It is caught! Then it's Fox NFL Sunday at noon.
This kid has it all.
The best NFL pregame shows are back-to-back, only on Fox.
A fixture of Rockland's Lobster Festival is in need of repair. The King Neptune sculpture, created by local artist Richard Johnson, was damaged during last December's back-to-back storms and flooding that affected Maine's coast. As Jody Hersey tells us, Johnson is now looking to redo that iconic sculpture in weather-resistant bronze before next year's event.
King Neptune, the god of the sea, with his trident in one hand and lobster in the other, is the masterpiece of local potter and artist Richard Johnson.
I sculpted that, and I ended up donating that to the Maine Lobster Festival in memory of Alice Knight, who was a Lobster Festival director, and she invited my wife and I to the festival almost 50 years ago.
This statue has become a staple at Rockland's Lobster Festival. However, when it was on display at a restaurant in Rockland during the December 2023 storms, King Neptune and another sculpture had an unfortunate run-in with Maine's coastal waters.
His deck of his restaurant had floated up in the air from the flooding, and it washed all of those two figures underneath it. So it was kind of interesting that Neptune got washed away by his own storm.
So Johnson has set up a GoFundMe page in order to remake King Neptune entirely of bronze. He's already working with New England Castings and Standish to make it a reality if he can raise $35,000. Johnson's wife and fellow potter, Sue, says recreating the sculpture is a must.
The arts are a huge cultural part of our mid-coast area. A lot of people have followed Richard with his development of King Neptune, which is real fun, because they'll come back and get the picture taken.
Johnson says memorializing Neptune in bronze could ensure the sculpture is protected for years to come.
You know, a bronze sculpture would last for hundreds, even thousands of years, unless it's melted down.
In Rockland, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
That is so poetic. I'm so glad they're making a new one. All right, the time now is 8:19. Let's get a full look at that forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find a perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. A small crowd advisory is up. Notice this one here will expire this morning, but another one is now posted that will last through at least Friday. But meanwhile, those wave heights, again, are hit and miss. They're at around 1 to 2 feet according to the buoys here. So overall, not too bad. Farther out towards sea, a little bit more active at around 3 to even 12 feet according towards some of the buoys. So some parts of the ocean still staying active, while closer to us it's not too bad. But again, that next small crowd advisory will be for our next system that will be moving in soon. Meanwhile, this morning, again, we got clouds moving in, not quite showing up well on this particular map, but they are moving in, and we will be watching for a mostly cloudy to even a cloudy sky today. Any precipitation you see here will stay away from us, so that will not be much of a problem at all. Anything you're seeing there is from this system right about in here that's helping to stir the ocean up as well. We'll have clouds moving in for the next day or so. Meanwhile, we have this system right about in here that's also tracking off towards the north and east, and now will help to get us some more active weather coming up rather soon. Futurecast moving forward. We got clouds moving in for the northeast going to the south and west today. It will be breezy today as well. The winds will back off for a bit later on tonight, but notice as we head towards tomorrow, the winds will start to pick up as we hold on to the clouds. And then our next wave of energy will be moving in as we watch for more rain, maybe a little bit of snow that will begin to mix in very soon. Most of it staying as rain for now as we head towards Thursday evening. But meanwhile, the bigger picture showing this thing moving in as we head towards Thursday afternoon, more so as we head towards Thursday night and the parts of Friday morning, possibly mixing in with a little bit of snow at times too later on as the system tracks through, but at least Thursday night and Friday morning, mainly staying as rain. But as we do move forward in time, our next wave of energy could switch over to a little bit of snow as we head towards late Friday and the parts of Saturday, more so as we head towards your Saturday, so we'll keep an eye on that. Most of that should stay in the northern parts of the state, but either way, a decent amount of precipitation and gusty winds will be on the way for us very soon. The forecast coming up for today, we have lower 50s, mostly cloudy and breezy out there. North wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour at times. Tonight, lower 40s, cloudy and calm. Northeast wind at about 5 miles per hour. A few higher gusts cannot be ruled out. For tomorrow, upper 40s, cloudy and breezy. Northeast wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. All righty, let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Rain will be common on Friday with highs in the low 50s. As we head towards your Saturday, some rain and snow can't be ruled out. Most of the snow will stay farther north with highs in the upper 40s. And then we're dry on Sunday, mostly cloudy with highs in the mid 40s.
DNR Construction provides exceptional service to Eastern and Central Maine. From roofing and siding to full remodels, DNR Construction does it all with skill and precision. Give them a call for a free estimate today at 881-9033.
As a child, you just couldn't keep me out of the puddles. That's where the acorn essentially was planted. As we got started, we had nothing in the bank, we were cash poor. Now it's just a one-man show. The support of my credit union, starting the business, the banking advice, when you can call them and they're there for you, that's tremendous. It's been a great asset for me and for my company's growth. It's really an exciting time, and my credit union made that possible.
Swiffer Sweeper Dry traps 2 times more dust and hair for a clean even Mom approves of.
Nice reach.
Brooms can just push stuff around, but Swiffer grabs dirt and even traps the hair. Swiffer, the mother of all cleans. Love it or your money back.
The marathon of life can be challenging. Chores and responsibilities keep us from the things we once loved and the aspirations we set. But it's never too late to find your second wind. With an affordable, fully online program and advisors to help you along the way, you can cross the finish line at your own pace. Finish strong at the University of Maine.
Fox College Football Friday and Big Noon Saturday kick off a whole new era of college football. I cannot wait for this game. With the Big 10, Big 12, and Mountain West. College football on Fox all season long.
DNR Construction provides exceptional service to Eastern and Central Maine. From roofing and siding to full remodels, DNR Construction does it all with skill and precision. Give them a call for a free estimate today at 881-9033.
Today, the House Ethics Committee is expected to meet and could decide whether to release its report on former Congressman Matt Gaetz, President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General, who's facing accusations of sexual misconduct. It comes as ABC News has obtained Venmo payments Gaetz allegedly made to two women at the center of the House investigation. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington.
Good morning. We are starting to hear from Republican senators who would be voting on whether or not to confirm Gaetz. It comes as Trump has personally been calling senators, urging them to get on board with Gaetz. Overnight, new information on the House Ethics Committee's investigation into former Congressman Matt Gaetz, President-elect Trump's pick for Attorney General. ABC News has obtained records of Venmo payments Gaetz allegedly made to two women who provided the records to the committee. The documents show between 2017 and 2019, then Congressman Gaetz allegedly made 27 payments to the women, totaling more than $10,000. Under the reason for the payment, Gaetz allegedly wrote notes including gift and just because. The two women testified some of the payments were for sex.
They essentially put the Venmo payments on the screen and asked about them, and my clients repeatedly testified, what was this payment for? Well, that was for sex, yes.
Sources say a hacker obtained documents from a civil case involving a friend of Gaetz and the 17-year-old girl Gaetz is accused of having sex with, including a deposition from the 17-year-old. Gaetz has denied all wrongdoing.
Mr. President, are you reconsidering the nomination of Matt Gaetz?
No.
Senators have hinted the women involved could be called as witnesses during Gaetz' nomination hearing. Trump could push Gaetz through the process without Senate approval in what's called recess appointments. Trump making more staffing announcements. TV Dr. Mehmet Oz to oversee Medicare and Medicaid. Linda McMahon for Education Secretary, a department Trump says he wants to dismantle. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
New York prosecutors said they'll oppose dismissing President-elect Donald Trump's hush money case as his sentencing looms. But they expressed some openness to delaying it until after his impending second term. In a court filing Tuesday, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said Trump's forthcoming presidency is not grounds for dropping a case that was already tried. But, quote, given the need to balance competing constitutional interests, prosecutors said consideration must be given to potentially freezing the case until after he's out of office. According to Bloomberg reports, Trump's November 26th sentencing has been adjourned by the court. The sentencing was called off without explanation on Tuesday in a short note by the court. The update on the court docket came on the same day Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg faced a deadline to give the court his recommendation on how the case should play out. This is not itself a dismissal, but just takes the November sentencing off the schedule, allowing Merchant and Bragg to determine how to continue with the case post Trump's election win. The case revolves around Trump's conviction on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to hide a $130,000 payment during his 2016 presidential campaign. The payment was intended to silence porn actor Stormy Daniels, who claims that she had sex with him years earlier. Well, ominous words from Russia's president after Ukraine fires U.S.-made long-range missiles into the country. Vladimir Putin is formally lowering the threshold for his nation's use of nuclear weapons. It's a chilling indication of the significant dangers around the world. During this, the final 2 months of the Biden-Harris administration, before President-elect Donald Trump is inaugurated as the 47th president. Fox News Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin is at the Pentagon with the story.
Overnight, Ukraine struck military targets inside Russia for the first time using U.S.-provided long-range strike fires known as ATACMS. Hours later, in response, Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a new nuclear doctrine, lowering the Kremlin's threshold to use tactical nuclear weapons. He had warned he would do so in September if the U.S. permitted Ukraine to strike Russian territory.
It is a signal that they want to escalate the conflict, and it is impossible to use these high-tech missiles without the Americans. Putin has said this many times.
The Pentagon says it has seen no change to Russia's nuclear posture, despite its saber-rattling.
We don't have any indications that Russia is preparing to use a nuclear weapon within Ukraine. We don't see any changes that need to be made to our own nuclear posture.
The pre-dawn attack struck a military facility in the Bryansk region of southwest Russia, just north of Kursk, where 11,000 North Korean troops are preparing to attack Ukraine. When President Zelensky visited the White House in September, he asked President Biden to lift the restriction, a request Biden rebuffed for more than a year, fearing an escalation with Russia. All this has led to a tense situation in Europe. On Monday, Sweden distributed millions of pamphlets on wartime preparation, updating the In Case of Crisis or War Guide to reflect the worsening security situation. The revised version is now twice as long as it was 6 years ago. The White House is expected to announce another $275 million weapons package for Ukraine, part of the $60 billion supplemental passed by Congress last spring. The weapons will come from existing U.S. stockpiles and will include the HIMARS rocket launching system, artillery shells, drones, and Javelin missiles. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
And coming up on the second half of the newscast, have you heard of the infamous Maine Crusher hat? Well, they've been around for quite some time. We'll hear why they're so popular and have withstood the test of time as Good Morning Maine continues.
Incoming dishes! Doc! Dawn Power Wash flies through 99% of grease and grime in half the time.
Yeah, it absorbs grease 5 times faster. It even replaces multiple cleaning products.
Ooh, those suds got game.
Dawn Power Wash, the better grease getter.
When Northern Power Wash Company, located in Bangor, wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Northern Power Wash provides outstanding pressure washing, window and gutter cleaning services to Eastern and Central Maine. Call Todd at 881-3680 today for a free estimate.
You can really make a career out of it if you find that passion and you enjoy what you're doing.
I just got done with my associate's degree. I am determined to go back and finish my bachelor's.
I didn't know that it was for me until I got into it. It just made me feel so good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Recovery coaching led me on the path to where I am now, doing the work that I do with the nonprofit, and I don't know where I'd be without it.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith, and today is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, and today is Universal Children's Day. This day is about recognizing that investing in our children means investing in our future, even if you don't have children yourself, which is why the United Nations has designated this day. This also led them to adopt a statement of children's rights. It's like human rights, but it's specified for children. And I'm not going to read exactly what it was because it was written about 100 years ago and the language can be a little confusing. I am going to paraphrase, but it is a very close paraphrasing that I'm going to do. Okay, it includes tenets like giving children what they need for healthy development, both in material and spiritual senses, and that was a line directly from it, which I think it's interesting that they specify they need these things material and spiritually for development. 2, making sure any hungry child is fed. 3, any child that is not doing well should receive help and to be claimed and cared for and sheltered. 4, that any child in distress should receive relief. 5, that any child experiencing exploitation must be protected, and that they must be taught and encouraged to develop their talents. I especially love that part because children deserve to thrive and not just be alive, like any person. Okay, now let's switch gears and hear about some major moments in history that occurred on this day. In 1789, New Jersey became the first state to ratify the Bill of Rights. I think if you're a big Jeopardy fan, this would be a good one to remember. It seems like a Jeopardy question. In 1803, the U.S. Senate ratifies the Louisiana Purchase. In 1917, the Ukrainian Republic was first declared. In 1928, the Boston Garden opened. This photo is not from 1928, as you can probably tell, because it's a color photo and the cars in it. But yeah, so in the opening game, the Montreal Canadiens actually beat the Bruins 1-0. Sounds like a good fight, though, a good game. Of course, it wouldn't be televised in 1928 either. But yeah, the Garden would be demolished in 1998 after the arena closed in 1995. The demolition of the garden did mark an end of an era for the city of Boston and the beginning of a new era with the construction of what is now the TD Garden. I did not know that the Boston Garden was right here. Of course, that Union Oyster House sign is so iconic, almost as iconic as Boston itself. So yeah, next time I'm on that strip, I'm gonna have to be like, oh yeah, the Boston Garden was right here. It's beautiful. It does kind of make me wish that it was able to be renovated, but it's much smaller, obviously, than the TD Garden. Okay, moving on. In 1945, the Nuremberg war trials began as 24 Nazi leaders were put on trial before judges representing the Allied powers. And in 1969, Native American activists began an occupation of Alcatraz Island, protesting what they saw as the government's ongoing economic, social, and political neglect of Native Americans. They weren't forced off the island until June of 1971. And we did have a photo for that one. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. But yeah, so they weren't forced off that island until 1971. That's 2 years later. This is seen as a really successful protest. It's really interesting. November is actually Native American Heritage Month. So this is, if you don't know about this, it's a really interesting thing to learn about. Alcatraz Island has a fascinating history. Okay, now for some birthdays. It's actually our President Joe Biden's birthday today. He's 82 years old. My production assistant Layla and I were chit-chatting this morning about how last year on his birthday, his Instagram released kind of it ended up being funny, a really funny photo of Biden with a birthday cake that had 81 candles on it, and it just looked like it was on fire, and he was grinning kind of mischievously. It cracked us up, and it kind of became a big meme on the internet. So we're kind of hoping there's going to be another version of that this year, I hope. Okay, also it's Dierks Bentley's birthday today. He's 49 years old today. Of course, he's a singer-songwriter, big country star. And Joe Walsh, guitarist for the Eagles, is 77 today. Happy birthday to them. Okay, moving on now. As far as weather goes today, it's kind of another boring day weather-wise. Rain is holding off for another few days, even though we could really use it. So let's get a look at that forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Hey, Emma, thank you very much. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find the perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. Alrighty, here we go. Small crowd advisory still up. This part here will last until this morning. However, another one is in effect now that will last until about Friday or so. But meanwhile, on land, it's pretty quiet this morning. We still have clouds that are passing through, going for the northeast and going to the south and west. A little bit of moisture showing up here as well, but overall nothing too ridiculous. We will stay dry today across our neck of the woods. This is a system right about here that's sending some of that moisture close to the state, but again, we will stay dry today. Clouds will be the common idea as we do move forward. We'll be watching for those clouds moving in from the northeast, going to the south and west today. And that will be the common idea again later on tonight and also in the parts of your Thursday. As for the gusty winds, they can reach up to about 20 miles per hour at times. And it'll calm down for a little bit later on tonight. Maybe a quick gust up to 15 miles per hour at times, more so along the coast. But once we head towards your Thursday, more gusty winds will make a return. Lower 50s today, mostly cloudy and breezy. North wind gusting up to about 20 miles per hour at times. Later on tonight, we have lower 40s, cloudy and calm. Northeast wind at about 5 miles per hour or so. Hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing increasing clouds with temperatures in the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Emma?
Thank you, Devin. Well, as we've been seeing, as the temperatures start to get colder, Mainers will want to pull out their winter weather gear. Ken Johnson, the owner of Maine Outdoor Solutions in Herman, says he came across a great winter hat called the Crusher Hat when he was attending the forestry program at the University of Maine back in 1969. He says back then his fellow classmates all wore them because they were warm, durable, and like the name suggests, you can crush them up and stuff them in your pocket. When you aren't wearing them, at least when you weren't wearing them. When Johnson was looking to add more products to his company, he immediately thought of the Crusher hats and tracked down the manufacturer.
So then I asked the manufacturer, could they make one with flaps, ear flaps? So we have what we call the flapper, and it's a stylish hat. It's still crushable, and it's got ear flaps. So you can cover your ears in the winter. So this has become very popular.
The Foggy Mountain Maine Crusher hats are available on Amazon or locally at stores like Ace Hardware in Herman. They have a great website if you Google Foggy Mountain Maine Crusher hats. This style is really in style right now. It's really trendy for everybody, not just men or women. It's both. I love it. I didn't know that this existed. I'm the type of person that has a bunch of hats in my car, and they do literally get crushed sometimes. So I'm gonna have to look into one of these. I love it. Okay, right after the break, Tyler Cruz will have our sports updates. Plus, we'll have a live interview about a documentary in the making about an underground metal music venue. We'll hear all about it after the break.
I got hurt in a car accident, but hiring a lawyer sounds like such a hassle.
We can tell you in just a few minutes if you may have a case. And that free call could mean the difference of thousands of dollars for you. I'm your go-to guy.
Call 222-2222.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
This year, take the time to melt into your holiday moments with Lindor. Irresistibly smooth chocolate from the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
It's that time of year again to get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days, where you'll find great offers on an efficient CR-V hybrid, spirited Accord hybrid, sporty Civic hybrid, and the all-electric Prologue. Don't wait, turn your dreams into reality with a new Honda, named KBB.com's best overall EV and hybrid brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Dad, I got a huge barbecue wing stain.
This bottle says I need a pre-treat.
That stuff has way more water. A little bit of Tide goes a long way. So you can save your shirt and maybe even a little money.
More money for nights at the library.
Right.
For a better clean with less, it's got to be Tide.
The University of Maine Black Bears take on the New Hampshire Wildcats. Saturday at 1 on ABC 7.
The move we all thought was inevitable has happened. Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. After 8 wins in their first 20 games, the Boston Bruins making a coaching change on Tuesday afternoon. The Bruins now just 8-9-3 on the season, relieving head coach Jim Montgomery of his duties and promoting associate coach Joe Sacco to the interim role. In a statement regarding the coaching change, Bruins GM Don Sweeney saying he made the difficult choice, going on to say Monty is a very good coach and better person. He also says he is both grateful and appreciative of the opportunity and cites the Bruins' record-setting 2023 season, but then went on to conclude that the team's performance is below how the Bruins want to reward their fans. The Bruins' 5-1 home loss to Columbus on Monday is their third in a row and marks Montgomery's last in Boston. The team is back in action Thursday, hosting Utah. For the first time in 10 years, the UMaine cross-country team will have a representative in the NCAA National Championship race. Luke Marsanskis won the America East Championship this fall and later qualified for the National Championship at Regionals in New Hampshire, but it wasn't an instant qualification. Marsanskis found out he was going to Nationals at the same time as everyone else through the selection show on Saturday, and he actually received the news in, well, a true UMaine fashion.
So there was a UMaine Boston University hockey game a few days ago, and we were standing in line, and the Save Old Town was, they had free barbecue and like chips and stuff, so we were eating that and watching on a phone, and yeah, it was a good place to see it. Thought there was a good chance that I would go, but it wasn't like 100%, so it was definitely like nerve-wracking, and when I saw it, it was like a big relief almost, but it was exciting.
The The America East Championship was an 8K race where Marsanskis recorded the winning time of 23 minutes and 51 seconds. But Regionals was a 10K race in which he placed 7th with a time of 30 minutes and 7 seconds. And Marsanskis says he is much more comfortable with that longer distance, the 10K race.
I think I'm definitely, like, the longer the distance gets, the better I am just like aerobically. So I definitely have more confidence in the 10K than the 8K. So I'm excited for that.
Marsanskis will race at 11:10 a.m. on Saturday in Wisconsin, and that will be broadcast on ESPNU. Moving to the Alphon now, number 5 Maine hockey getting ready for the border battle in New Hampshire this weekend, and the Black Bears now boast the nation's top power play scorer. Our Jack Webb has more.
Maine men's hockey junior forward Thomas Friel didn't have a traditional route to Orono. The Aberdeen, Scotland native moved to Canada with his family at the age of 8, and thanks to a few neighborhood kids, he discovered this little sport called hockey.
Didn't really know hockey was a thing at all, to be honest. No one in my family's ever skated, but I wanted to make some friends, and my neighbors were playing road hockey one day, or ball hockey, and so I went and tried that out just to kind of make some friends, and loved it, and they're like, well, we play this on ice too.
He had just dipped his toes into the water for the first time and decided to jump into the deep end with no life jacket.
I gave it a shot, showed up first day of tryouts with like a starter pack you get like at Canadian Tire out of a box. Didn't know these skates had to be sharp or anything like that. And that was my first day skating, was the first day of tryouts, and so that first year didn't go too well. But yeah, I loved it, loved like the friendships and the camaraderie that came with the sport, and stuck with it. And it's got me where I am now.
The sport brought Friel from Scotland to Orono as a Division I hockey player, where his underdog story continued.
We needed a guy 2-3 years ago, and he was available. He was a 20-year-old age out in a league that really doesn't have a lot of Division I players, and in the Ottawa area. And we gave him a chance, and he's been great since the day he got here.
He found his calling as a net front presence as he currently leads the country in power play goals. His willingness to do the dirty work in front of the net has made him a key part of this Black Bear attack.
He is a really good net front guy, and those are really hard players to find.
It was a spot like when I was younger that a lot of the other players didn't really want to do, and so I saw a spot being there and my chance to move up the lineup by being a person who can get to the net front.
You can catch Friel posted up in front of the blue paint on Friday as the Black Bears travel down to take on their rival UNH. From Orono, Jack Webb, ABC7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thanks for that, Jack. Let's go to the hardwood now. The Celtics back in action in a big regular season matchup at TD Garden. The unbeaten 15-0 Cavaliers in Boston taking on the Celtics. Green floor again for the Emirates NBA Cup. Second game for Boston. First half, Jason Tatum. Big half for him off the inbounds. Gets it back from Drew Holiday. Nails a contested 3. Just before the break now, Celtics up big. Tatum signature sidestep 3, and he nails it. Sees up 17. They led by 21 before the Cavs stormed back. Donovan Mitchell gives Neemias Queta the work here with the handles. He had 35 points, but this play in the fourth quarter just perfectly Celtics basketball. Great defense from Derek White. Al Horford is going to get the rebound. He runs the break, gets it out to Jason Tatum, who makes a move to go baseline, gets open, but makes the extra pass to Peyton Pritchard, who drills the 3. Boston hangs on for the win. They hand Cleveland their first loss. That is fun basketball right there. That is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Even though Dorsey Furniture is known for our vast collections of quality home furnishings, sometimes we like to venture into the forgotten passageways and dark corners of our enormous warehouse to mine the odd nightstand, forgotten sofa, orphaned love seat, or the elusive discontinued mattress. Meanwhile, our sales manager, not the bean counters, smashed their original retail prices into tiny fractions of themselves. Dorsey Furniture. Black Friday, Black Tag Sale going on now.
Downy does more to make clothes softer, fresher, and better, because your hoodie does more than complete your look. Like when it becomes her favorite place to cuddle. Downy is more than just a fabric softener. It breathes life into your laundry.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million.
If you get hurt by a big truck, call the Twos.
We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck, call the Twos. We win for you.
ABC 7 and Fox 22 proudly broadcast live from the Anna Schreiner's Festival of Trees on November 20th, a beautiful holiday live event which is brought to you locally by Ideal Recycling in Carmel, a family-owned and operated scrap metal yard. Steaks and Stuff in Lincoln is your local full-service Surefine supermarket. And top-notch detailing in Herman. Give us a call to learn more about our fantastic specials, 232-2933.
We have 30,000 ways to thank our loyal fans.
Courtroom leader, the judge.
Win one of 3 $10,000 cash prizes.
You just won the game, guys!
It's the 30K Thanks Arama giveaway.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with Ricky Layton. He's the director of an upcoming film, Down East Hardcore, Stories from the Cave. It's about a local underground metal music venue that closed a few years ago. Ricky, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so first for everybody listening, a lot of folks aren't going to know what this is. Can you tell us what is the Cave and what's hardcore music?
Sure. The Cave was a music venue in Bucksport, Maine, up in the woods, away from Main Street. It really existed from 2002 to about 2016.
Yep.
And it hosted a variety of hardcore and heavy metal bands that were nationally recognized, even internationally.
Right. Yeah,
So-
I've seen a lot about it since then. I'll go on Reddit and I'll still see people talking about it, especially on like the metal music scene in the main thread. But yeah, people miss it.
Yeah, and that's not just the people who live here. That includes the bands that still tour to this day. They would travel. They'd be on the road, New York, Boston, and they would go out of their way to come up here to Bucksport.
Right.
So they could get a home-cooked meal by Kathy, get a place to sleep, and visit the family that's up here.
Right, yeah. So on that note, Kathy is a major, she's like kind of the role model here. Can you talk about her a little bit?
Absolutely. So Kathy was an occupational therapist in the Bucksport area and was working with some students, and she noticed that they were really into this heavier music, drumming on their tables and stuff like that. So she started to host her own shows at different churches and VFW halls and whatnot, and eventually opened up her own venue, which was the Cave, and provided this amazing space for kids to, it was always chem-free, and it was always all ages, so they could come there and they could just listen to the music they love with people that enjoy it too.
So it's kind of, you know, the juxtaposition between these kids might get their teeth kicked out in the mosh pit, but it is a safe space for kids to, you know, explore music and to make friends and stuff like that. That's really unique. And you were saying before we went on too, the Bucksport community kind of, you know, let them do their thing, right?
Yeah, they were fine with it. Even the neighbors were really good. There was
That's
a
so
graveyard on one side, so it was pretty quiet.
Right.
But they could come there. There was a variety of bands. It wasn't just hardcore music, which is, you know, heavier, more screaming.
What type of metal is hardcore though?
So hardcore, you know, you have New York and Boston that really fueled that scene, and it's really dictated by the screaming vocals, which are very powerful.
Is it like
and passionate.
death metal?
No, death metal would be a little more guttural.
Okay.
But hardcore, you know, that's where you're fist pumping and you're screaming in someone's face. If you go on Instagram, any of the social media venues, you can see bands to this day where people are stage diving.
Right.
They're grabbing the mic from the lead singer and they're
Right.
screaming the lyrics out.
Right.
So that's really how that's separated. Heavy metal, you know, it's guitar driven. So these are subgenres of these genres,
Right.
but you know, they have their own cult following. And it used to be separated.
Yeah.
But the Cave brought them all together. It didn't matter what type of show it was. People went there because it was the Cave.
Oh, yeah, and because of the community too. Okay, and you're fundraising for this film that you're doing. You've been interviewing people to share their experiences and stuff like that. Can you talk about the fundraising efforts and the work?
Definitely. We were very grateful to receive a grant from the Maine Community Foundation, which allowed us to get this project started. And our fiscal sponsor, the New Surrey Theater in Blue Hill, allows us to apply for nonprofit grants and fundraise as a nonprofit. And that's allowed us to give paying gigs to local artists, cinematographers, graphic designers.
Wow.
And so to finish this thing out, we launched a GoFundMe, as well as a merch store, which is being printed by Hamilton Industries in Lewiston. And all of the money that we raise is going directly to the film.
Cool. So where can folks stay up to date on this, on your process, learn more, and maybe reach out?
Yes, we have a website, thekfilm.com.
Yep.
That has both links to our GoFundMe and our merch store. And we are on all the social media platforms. We're posting lots of throwback pictures and archival footage. So it's a good follow.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to stay in touch as work continues. Ricky, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Of course. We'll send it over to Devin Biggs for our full weather forecast. Great job.
Alrighty, Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Comfort Shoes can help you find a perfect fit for your new fall and winter footwear. Visit us across from Irving and Newport. A small crowd advisory is up. Notice this one here will expire this morning, but another one is now posted that will last through at least Friday. But meanwhile, those wave heights, again, are hit and miss. They're at around 1 to 2 feet according to the buoys here. So overall, not too bad. Farther out towards sea, a little bit more active at around 3 to even 12 feet according towards some of the buoys. So some parts of the ocean still staying active, while closer to us it's not too bad. But again, that next small crowd advisory will be for our next system that will be moving in soon. Meanwhile, this morning, again, we got clouds moving in, not quite showing up well on this particular map, but they are moving in, and we will be watching for a mostly cloudy to even a cloudy sky today. Any precipitation you see here will stay away from us, so that will not be much of a problem at all. Anything you're seeing there is from this system right about in here that's helping to stir the ocean up as well. We'll have clouds moving in for the next day or so. Meanwhile, we have this system right about in here that's also tracking off towards the north and east, and now will help to get us some more active weather coming up rather soon. Futurecast moving forward. We got clouds moving in for the northeast going to the south and west today. It will be breezy today as well. The winds will back off for a bit later on tonight, but notice as we head towards tomorrow, the winds will start to pick up as we hold on to the clouds. And then our next wave of energy will be moving in as we watch for more rain, maybe a little bit of snow that will begin to mix in very soon. Most of it staying as rain for now as we head towards Thursday evening. But meanwhile, the bigger picture showing this thing moving in as we head towards Thursday afternoon, more so as we head towards Thursday night and the parts of Friday morning, possibly mixing in with a little bit of snow at times too later on as the system tracks through, but at least Thursday night and Friday morning, mainly staying as rain. But as we do move forward in time, our next wave of energy could switch over to a little bit of snow as we head towards late Friday and the parts of Saturday, more so as we head towards your Saturday, so we'll keep an eye on that. Most of that should stay in the northern parts of the state, but either way, a decent amount of precipitation and gusty winds will be on the way for us very soon. The forecast coming up for today, we have lower 50s, mostly cloudy and breezy out there. North wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour at times. Tonight, lower 40s, cloudy and calm. Northeast wind at about 5 miles per hour. A few higher gusts cannot be ruled out. For tomorrow, upper 40s, cloudy and breezy. Northeast wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. All righty, let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Comfort Shoes and More. Rain will be common on Friday with highs in the low 50s. As we head towards your Saturday, some rain and snow can't be ruled out. Most of the snow will stay farther north with highs in the upper 40s. And then we're dry on Sunday, mostly cloudy with highs in the mid 40s.
Did you know that 50% of the air you breathe in your home is air that comes from Hafford Basement Systems? All things basementy. A wet, damp basement is a real problem. It can damage your valuables, worsen asthma and allergies, and affect indoor air quality. We'll transform your basement into a dry, usable space and improve the health of your entire home. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basementy.
Whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or any commercial vehicle, we know how to get you the big money you may deserve.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you.
We're unboxing unbeatable values for your home every Friday in November, because every day is like Black Friday at Bob's. And our second unboxing is Black Friday clearance. I'm making room for new styles and passing the savings along to you on sleeper sofas, dining, bedrooms, decor, and more. But move fast, because when they're gone, Mr. Gnome. Good thing new values are added every day. So check back every Friday for a new unboxing, because every day is like Black Friday when you dare to compare at Bob's.
At China Walk on Broadway in Bangor, we're serving up your Chinese favorites. Our food is delicious, our staff is friendly, and our service is fast. Open Tuesday through Sunday, call ahead, order online, or just stop by. Enjoy our indoor dining for the full experience, or get takeout that the whole family will enjoy. We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied. China Walk on Broadway in Bangor, where tradition meets flavor.
Swiffer Sweeper Dry traps 2 times more dust and hair for a clean even Mom approves of.
Nice reach.
Brooms can just push stuff around, but Swiffer grabs dirt and even traps the hair. Swiffer, the mother of all cleans. Love it or your money back.
All right, looks like I talked too much this morning and we're about out of time. If you missed anything, please head to foxbangor.com. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6, 7, and 8 a.m. on Fox 22 and ABC 7. I hope you have a great Wednesday.
Today on 25 Words or Less, a man who's performed comedy all over the world, punishing foreign audiences with his American improv. It's Colton Dunn. And joining Colton are married couple Leah and Charles. He might look like we hired some celebrity from the 99 cents.